Welcome then, Brandon from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook, starting with the DXY on the daily time frame. We've got this C down in here, which we were looking for. So there's a few different scenarios here now. We're at the end of wave 5 on the monthly. So a few things can happen here. We can either get a correction in here, and then we get like a W, X, Y, X2, and a Z down as a complex correction. And then we get more upside, another 5 up. Or this is just an A, a B, and a C, and we go up and break the top from here. This wave C down here can still get down to this 100 fib. We really got to go down to the lower time frames to see if this is possibly over that wave C. On the H4, we got the 5 down, and we lost all the bullish divergence. So I'm just looking for a larger correction in here, and then more downside at this stage. H1, we got the 5 down as well. It looks like we're starting a correction in here. We got a nice impulse up. So, I mean, there's a couple of different scenarios in here. If I just zoom in a little bit. On the lower time frame, we sort of got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. And we got an A. This is looking bullish in here. But this can be just an A, B, C up. And then you get an A, B, C running or expanding flat. Or may just turn into a regular flat before you get 5, 3, 5. So I'd be looking for a buy. It's really just a scalp. But like I just mentioned, if you're looking to buy this in here, you've really got to be careful, because this can be an A, a B, and a C, like I just showed, and then you get another larger C down, and you get a flat in here. So you could look to buy this, and if it comes back and takes your stop out at break even, well, you may get another opportunity down here at a running or expanding flat or regular flat, whichever it's going to be, and then look for the buy. AU on the daily, we're looking for this wave C up to possibly this 100 fib. H4, we're still waiting for a correction in here, like I've gone on for the last couple of weeks. We got a nice impulse up from the low, so I'm waiting for a correction in here. Get a nice correction in here, well, then I can look for a buy. Really got to wait to see a complete correction in there on the lower time frames before you start looking for your entry. At this stage, it doesn't really look complete. We sort of got like 1, 2, 3 down in here, so it may go from here. You could give it a go just as a scalp, but again, could turn, more than likely it'll turn more complex, and we'll get a larger correction, and then I'll be looking for a buy. At this stage, it's really risky. You're buying at the top of this impulse here. You really want a correction. I'd like to see a correction back down to the 50 fib, or a nice complete correction before I start to look for a buy again. GU on the daily, nothing's changed. We're looking for that wave C up, what we've been looking at for a long time. H4 is where it gets a little bit more difficult. We got 5 up here on the H4. Got a nice impulse down. This one is looking very impulsive too. So again, there's quite a few different scenarios. This could turn into quite a large correction here, which I expect it will, because we got an impulse and impulse. So we can get sort of a correction in here and then another one up. And then we get like an A, B, C, and then we get that A, B, C larger correction before we get another 5 up. So you've got to be very careful buying up here. In fact, you may even get a sell here. It's just a scalp though. This is not really a B wave, but I've got a B on there. But we got an impulse down here. This is looking very corrective. So if you got a sell set up on the lower time frames, you could look for a C down, but only an A, B, C. If you're lucky, it goes further. But yeah, it's really just a scalp for a C down at this stage. EU on the daily, still not at that 100 fib, but we got an A, a B, and a C here. This is very impulsive. There is a chance that this even, the same with the rest of them, gets up to the 161.8 and this turns motive, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. H4, we got the 5 up. And again, we lost the bearish divergence in here. So I'm just looking for a larger correction. Ideally back to the 50 fib somewhere, and we get a 5, 3, 5. So I'm waiting for a complete correction in here. Until we get that complete correction, I wouldn't be looking for the buy. It's more scalping and very similar to GU. I'd be looking at some sort of a flat here, like an A, a B, get a C up in here, and then you could look for a C down. And again, it's pretty much just scalping. You're just looking for a C down. If you're lucky, this does turn motive and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 larger correction, and then another 5 down, to complete the larger correction after the 5 up on the H4. So this may be worth taking because, like I mentioned, it may turn motive in here and you get 5 down on the H1. At this stage, there isn't nothing on it. I wouldn't look to sell this until this top here gets broken. So I'd need 3 up. Need 3 up, and then I'd be looking for a sell on the lower time frames. Scalp. NU on the daily. We're looking for that wave C up. H4, we got a nice impulse up. Very similar to last week. I'm waiting for a correction in here. Need a correction. So we can see at the top here, it is starting to get very choppy. So ideally we get a nice correction and then I could start to look for a buy. If you're looking for the sell, well, you're scalping into a B wave. So it'll be very choppy. As we can see here, impulse down, it's very choppy. So more than likely this is what will happen. And it could happen all the way down to the 50 fib. Till I see a complete correction, I'll pretty much be leaving it alone. GY, very similar to last week. It's pretty much playing out how I was looking at it last week. We got a nice impulse down. We got this flat in here. So we got like an A, B, C in here. So I'm looking for that A, B, C. I haven't changed the count, of course, but yeah, if you've been following me, you'll see this is what I was looking for last week. We're looking for this larger A, B, C up. it's really, I mean, if you're looking for the buy, you've pretty much missed it. I think we were in here somewhere last week. We are getting this. So if you got onto that, well, you still have to be careful because we got like 1, 2, 3 up in here. So we can get an A, a B, and a C, larger flat correction before we get A, B, C, and more upside. And this may turn motive. So if we get one down in here, you could look to buy. Other than that, you've pretty much missed it, you know. UY, I think we did break the low, did we? No, we didn't. We didn't quite break this low. So we got a nice impulse down. We got 3 up. I'm looking for this to come down, break that low. It hasn't broken that low yet. So, I mean, it doesn't have to break it in one wave. We got 3 up in here. So this may be like correction up in here. Another one down for like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we sort of get 3 or 5 up in here before we get the A, B, C. So, yeah, there's really nothing solid on it at this stage. There was a nice buy down in here on the lower time frames, but that's over. Really not much on the H4 other than we don't have any bullish divergence, like I've mentioned. We don't have any bullish divergence in here, so we can just get a correction, possibly up to this trend line, and then another one down. And see, this is looking, well, it's very similar to GY. We got a nice impulse up. We got a 50 fib retrace in here. This is what I'm saying. On the lower time frame, there was, you could have got an entry in here. And then you got another opportunity in here as well. But like GY, we got 1, 2, 3 up. So we can get one down in here. And then an A, B, C before we get an A, B, C, or it turns motive and we get 5 up. So unless you're already on it, you really need one down in here, a C down in here, and then a buy setup on the lower time frames to get in. Yeah. The CAD, looking for a B up in here, but we got 1, 2, 3. We're waiting for this time factor. And then I'd be looking for a wave 5. The problem here now is, unless we're looking at this as some sort of an ending diagonal, it's going to be pretty difficult because this wave 4 has come into the territory of this wave 2. So, according to Elliott wave, the wave 3, well, the wave 4 should not go into the territory of the wave 2 unless it's a leading or ending diagonal. So, yeah, I think there's a little bit more downside in this, but we got a nice impulse here, nice impulse up, and this is looking quite choppy. So again, we may get a flat in here, and get upside, and then more downside. So I'm looking for this, some sort of a B wave here. At this stage, I can't really put it there, so it's really just scalping on here as well. And at this stage, would you really buy in, seeing how choppy this is in here, would you buy into this? If you are, it's just scalping. And as soon as that top's broken, you want to be taking half off and getting it to break even. Because as we see, in here, it's coming straight back down. So This may be a complex correction in here, like 1, 2, or WXY, X2, and get a Z up in here and then falls over and gives you more downside. It's looking very corrective, so yeah, be careful with the buy, and you have to be careful with the sell too, because we have this bullish divergence down here. So yeah, it's really just scalping, and it's quite risky scalping at that on this particular pair. The Swissy, we got this triangle in here, this running triangle. We got an A, B, C, D, E before we got an A, B, C. We didn't get anywhere near the 100 fib here, but definitely looking for buys on the lower time frame for a scalp. But if we have a look on the H4, there is no bullish divergence, so I'd just be we're getting a possible bear hidden here. But if we go down to the H1, like I mentioned, it's really just a scalp, but we may get a nice buy set up in here. So we got a nice, if I just zoom in a little bit more so you can see it a little bit better. So we got a nice impulse up. We're getting some sort of a correction. We got like 1, 2, 3 up in here. So if we get an A, B, C in here, then a nice buy setup. Well, we could look for at least an A, B, C. Like I mentioned, it's pretty much just a scalp. I dare say we'll just get 3 up in here, then the bear hidden plays out on the higher time frame, and we go down and break that low. So it's really just scalping. EG, we're waiting for this wave 4. We've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, looking for that 5th wave up. Internally here, like we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I just go down to the H4, we'll see it better. Pretty much the same as I was looking at last week. We may be getting an extended wave 3. This wave 3 may not be over yet, and we get like 1, 2, 3, get a wave 4 in here and a wave 5 up to finish off that wave 3. Then we get that wave 4 on the daily time frame. So again, we're pretty much just scalping. You could actually look to go and break the top here, because we do have 3 down. Like we sort of got 3 up in here, then we got like an A, B, C in here. We got the bullish divergence, so definitely can look for a buy. Maybe a buy setup forming on the lower time frames here. Definitely can look for this. We take a quick look at the M15. We got all this bullish divergence. We got a nice impulse up. This is looking very corrective here. So yeah, if you get a buy set up on Monday on the lower time frames, you could look to buy for at least an A, B, C, and it can even go and break the top, like I mentioned, in that wave 5 on the H4. This in here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get that wave 5 up breaking the top. So you may get a nice nice trade in there. WTI, sort of looking at that A, B, C in here, then an A, B, looking for a C up in here now before we get an A, B, C. My internet's playing up. So H4, we got that like 1, 2, 3. We can get a wave 4 in here and then a wave 5 down like I'm looking at. I was looking for a flat here. And we sort of got that. Well, it really didn't go as far as I would have liked. I was looking at this A, B. We get a nice sharp move down in here and then a buy setup, and I could look for that wave 3 up. It didn't really come down far enough. It's sort of very tricky now because it just got this impulse here. So this can be like an A, B, C in here, and then an A, B, C before we get A, B, C in here. So I wouldn't be looking to buy. I'd only be looking to buy if we sort of got down to this 100 fib here. If we got around there somewhere, or even if we get a lower low here, get a lower low of this wave down, get 3 down, well then I could start to look for the buy. Other than that, it's very risky because like I just mentioned, this can be an A, B, C, then we get an A, B, C before larger C down. You could, you could look to sell. If you got a sell set up, you could look for a 3 down, and you definitely want to be at break even before that low's broken. But yeah, gold, we're in that 1, 2, 3. We're waiting for this wave 4, and then we trade that wave 5 up. We need a nice correction in here before we start to buy, like I've been mentioning for a while. H4 is quite difficult too because we had that bull hidden in here. We went up and broke the top. When we broke that top, we lost all the divergence. So again, we may just get like a correction in here and then more upside. This is looking like it's turning more corrective too. I'd be looking at some sort of A, B, C in here and then an A, B, C before we get larger C down. On the lower time frames, you may get, it's just scalping, like just scalping, but you may get a buy set up in here to buy. Extremely risky. You'd want a nice correction in here on the lower time frame just to trade that C up like that A, B, C, and we got expanding flat in here in the B wave before you'd look for more downside. Silver, we've got the 5 up in here. We got sort of 1, 2, 3 in here, 1, 2, 3 up. We got an impulse down, nice impulse up. So this can go up and break the top. The problem here is, like I've mentioned, for the last few weekly outlooks, we have to be very careful because we have a bear hidden here. So this can come down and break that low. Like I said last week, if you're looking for the buy, it's just scalping at this stage. Is there a sell on it? There's no real nice sell on it, or is there? We did come from a top, so that's nice. We come from a nice top, we got an impulse down. So if you get a correction in here on the lower time frames, you could look for at least 3 down, and more than likely it'll turn motive. And if you're really lucky, it goes down and breaks, the hidden divergence plays out and it goes and breaks the low, this low down here. So there is quite a bit of room. If you're getting in up here, and taking half your profit off down here, you should do pretty well out of it. But we need a nice correction. We are starting to get a nice correction. on the lower time frames. We've sort of got an A, B, C in here. We get an A, B, C here. So if you get a sell set up, I mean, you're going right down to the lower time frames. But if you get a sell set up, you could look for at least 3 down. Like I said, more than likely it'll turn motive, and you'll get 5 down on the M15. Bitcoin, daily, we got the 5 up, so that was fine. We've got a larger correction here, so that's great. And we've got a nice impulse up. I mentioned this last week, there was a buy in here. It's a buy. If you're in that buy, well, I'd be holding it. We can go up and break the top, like I said last week. Oh, my internet's playing up. Very annoying. Like I said last week, we got the 5 up in here. We got a larger correction, so this can go up and break that top. So all those that do trade this, I hope you got in last week when I mentioned this correction here. Other than that, if you're not already in it, you have to wait for a larger correction. You got to wait for a correction now. You can't just go buying up the top here and thinking, you're going to be safe. Yeah, you really need a correction now. You've pretty much missed the trade. If you're looking for buys and sells now, you're pretty much just scalping. H1, we got the bearish divergence, so be very careful with your buys up here. S&P 500 just has taken off. This I go and break the top here too. I was looking for a wave 5 down in here. We got like 1, 2, 3. We did have a bear hidden here. It hasn't played out yet, but it still can. Again, we got like 1, 2. Well, zoom in a bit. This can be quite complex in here, this correction, like an A, B, C, before you get an A, B, C in here, larger flat. Sort of got 3 up in here, so we get another 3, and then we could get another 3 as a complex correction, larger correction than this, and still get more downside before it does go. Yeah, really not much on it now. If you're not already on it, it's very difficult. I mean, if you're trading this, you would have at least been looking for an A, a B, and a C up. So it's kept on going, so you'd still be in it, or still in at least half. Yeah. So unless you got this one down in here for an a B, and a C, well, then you could start to look for buys again. We're already getting that bearish divergence on the H1. So, yeah. Unless you're scalping, there's really not much on it now. AU. So this larger flat in here. If I quickly go to the weekly, for a long time I was looking for this down in here. We got an A, B, C in here. So this can go up and break the top now. I was expecting a little bit more downside, but actually just need to adjust the fib. So that's fine. I'd be looking for the buy now, definitely looking for the buy. H4, we got 3 down, and we got an impulse up, breaking this top. So if we get a correction in here, possibly back to the 50 fib of this, definitely look for at least 3 up. Until we get this correction, it's risky. You're just scalping. Until we get a larger correction in here, it's just scalping. If you're looking for scalp buys or scalp sells within this impulse here, it's just scalping. But yeah, definitely longer term, I'd be looking for a buy. The FTSE on the daily, we got this nice impulse down in here. I was just looking for a correction similar to the other indices, and then we get 3 down. This is giving us a nice impulse down, and it's giving us an impulse back up. So I dare say it can go and break the top. Have to be very careful with the buy up here because we have a bear hidden. So even though we got an impulse up in here, this can still come down and break that low, and we get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down before get more upside. So yeah, extremely risking buying up here. Yep, I'd be leaving it alone unless I'm looking for a sell. With that bear hidden, we got all this bearish divergence here on the H1, so there is no sell set up on it as such. But if we did get a sell set up on it, might be worth taking it because it can go and break that low. Like I mentioned, there is no sell set up on it. For a sell, I mean, this is a bad example, but because this can be a flat here, and you get like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is a complex correction before you get more upside. But really want to see that top broken and then a nice impulse down, a correction, and then we could look for a sell. Until this happened, yeah, there's really not much on it. Unless you're scalping the buys, which is, like I mentioned, very dangerous at this stage, especially when we've got H4 possible bear hidden and all that bearish divergence on the H1. I wouldn't be looking for the buy up here. The DAX, this is pretty much doing the same as the others. Yeah, this one was, if you've been following me, you'd remember me saying this one here is a little bit different to the other indices because this one had that bull hidden. So I've always been saying that this one can go up and break that top, and yeah, as you can see, it looks like it's going to break that top with that bull hidden. If you're not already in it, you pretty much missed the trade. You would have want to be in it down here somewhere. And I think at the time, when we were down in these lows, there was a buy set up on it. So that I posted in these weekly outlooks if you go back. So yeah, if you're not in it, you're pretty much you're pretty much just scalping if you're not in it for the long term to go and break the top at this stage. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.